The one question I had I was talking with somebody earlier today, did you ever have a school's careers officer? And if so, how would this line of work have gone down back in those days?
Not, you mean like back at high school?
Yeah.
That kind of...
An accountant or a bricklayer.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was making films, animated films as a hobby, in my parents' attic when I was like 13, 14. But it was something that the school I was at didn't really know about. But there were teachers who were very encouraging, but there was nothing the careers officer could really guide me on. I remember my dad really was one of the best influences, and he was a photographer, and he showed me how to use the equipment, and he said, why don't you apply for foundation or A-level art and think of animation as a career, which I never had thought of before. So.
And Farmageddon has obviously gone the whole sci-fi, where you've always had touches of space. I mean, starting with the Grand Day Out, was it went to the moon, and then you had the Wrong Trousers, which were ex-NASA.
Yeah.
What is the perennial interest in space?
Oh yeah, well it was all like the brainchild of my colleague Richard Starzak, who he's been very responsible for the success of Shaun the Sheep over the years. I just came up with the original character, and he came up with the first feature film, and he just came up with this idea, of a sheep movie in space, or a sci-fi sheep movie, as which I don't think many people have seen the likes of that sort of thing before. So it seemed like an exciting idea. But yes, sci-fi, the whole sci-fi tradition is rich pickings for an Aardman kind of style film, where you're making all sorts of references and, funny references. And
what is it you think, or how do you get away with coming up with some of those ideas that nobody else can get away with? That you've got a certain flair and style that nobody else could carry off, really.
And shameless puns that most people would be embarrassed about. We are quite embarrassed about them, actually. But we have such good fun, really. I mean, someone thinks of an idea, and a few of us get together and brainstorm, and throughout the film, even when we're happy with the film, we keep having gag sessions. We call them comedy punch-ups, which they do end up in a punch-up, but where we just think, how can we better it? How can we make more, plus the humour, and
aside from the technology's moved on a lot in the over the last few years, but is it key to still have those teamwork sessions where you bounce ideas off each other?
Oh, absolutely. I constantly do it. I rely on it because I love to just sit in a room, with my writing colleague and just we think up quite a lot of stuff. But it's great to put it then out to another. Get an outside input to think of the things what have we missed, so you're never happy with it, you kind of, even at the end of a film, you show it to a bunch of people and just have a gag session, and we have a good laugh together, and even if you just come up with one or two gags that those can really make it, they can be the thing people take home.
And if somebody wanted to get into that line of work today, what would you encourage them to do?
What, the animation or the gag writing?
Both. To be a creative person, to come up with it.
Well, I think first of all, I mean, you can do animation at so many different courses now, and I would say to apply for, if you're at that stage of life, apply for those courses, and try to put across as much humour as you can of your own, bespoke humour into a short film or something. Other than that, write stories, write scripts, and inject as much humour as you can into it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey You